This is Robert Harper with Virginia Farm Bureau's Grain Division. Glad to bring you the Merchandiser Minute for Friday, April the 23rd, 2021. At the end of an amazing 5-day week in the futures markets in Chicago, where we saw money flow coming in ways that we haven't seen in a long time. We had a day on Thursday with limit up moves in the soft wheat futures contracts as well as in some corn futures contracts. We've got a situation where we've had big demand in the past. Demand is very strong right now. The speculators are anticipating and looking to the future with large demand. And we've got that working to push the prices higher, as well as supply concerns with the North American crop not planted yet and the South American crop in certain areas needing rain. All that fueled the speculator buying this week, along with other influences as well. But it was amazing. And again, we were limit up on corn and soft wheat on Thursday. The rapid fund buying came in across the board. We also saw another week with the US dollar futures down. We know we're a long ways off of those highs that we made on those US dollar futures at the end of March. And we've been going down during the month of April, and we're going to keep watching that moving forward. Let's take a look at this amazing activity this week. May corn closed at $6.55 a bushel, up 70 cents for the week. May soybeans closed at $15.39, up $1.06 for the week. And your new crop wheat contract, July wheat futures, soft wheat closed at $7.12, up 57 cents a bushel for the week. Just remarkable moves upward. And we're going to keep our eye, obviously, on that closely, starting at the open on Sunday night. The USDA this week, our loadings report was disappointing compared to what the trade was expecting. But again, with the supply side, questions being raised with production, cold weather in the Corn Belt. We know it was just really cold across so much of the Corn Belt, a lot of snowfall this week. We didn't see the planters rolling like we would normally see. We've got the weather working in the prices favor, as I said earlier, in South America as well, along with demand potential. It didn't really matter to the futures markets this week that the export loadings report was disappointing. They breezed right through it. When we looked on to Thursday and got our sales numbers, we were as expected for corn and soybeans on those numbers, and we came in above expected on wheat. We saw the crop progress report Monday afternoon that had the U.S. corn crop at 8% planted. The 5-year average, the USDA tells us, is 8% coming into the week. Beans in the United States were 3% planted coming into this week, and the 5-year average is 2%. When we look at spring wheat in the northern plains and all spring wheat in the United States, 19% planted, and that is ahead of schedule. And remember, where the majority of our spring wheat gets planted in this country, in the northern plains, they're very dry. I've directed y'all's attention before to search for the USDA Drought Monitor. We get an update on that every week. You can see that map online, and you can see how dry it is in those northern plains. But spring wheat is ahead of schedule on planting. When we switch gears and look at Virginia, our numbers this week came in on corn at 28% planted. Our average is 20%. And wheat headed this week in Virginia 7%. And last year we were at 19%, according to USDA National Ag Statistics and the Virginia Ag Statistics Service. China made a statement on Wednesday and gave out some governance to its poultry and hog feeders. Recommendations on reducing the amount of corn and soybean meal fed in those rations. That raised a lot of questions this week that fueled a lot of the futures rally on maybe there's more deficit in China on bushels or on metric tons than we think. So we're gonna watch for how that unplays in the coming months. We also saw, from a demand perspective, 2 announcements this week in the United States on plants being built, facilities being built for renewable biodiesel. And when we think about that, study up on it, but when we think about renewable biodiesel, it is chemically the same as petroleum diesel, but it has a lot more environmental advantages. And right now, oil refiners and others are looking to capture incentives that the government is providing for this type of fuel coming into our system. And Maybe we'll see more announcements like this, but we saw 2 this week: Strategic Biofuel to build a plant in Louisiana, and a 50-50 partnership between Cargill and Love's to build a plant in Hastings, Nebraska to manufacture renewable biodiesel. So next week, we're obviously watching weather in the Corn Belt, how the planters will be rolling out there. We're going to see about that double crop corn in Brazil and what the rain looks like, how much they could get, what goes on in Argentina for weather next week as well. And then obviously we'll see what the speculators want to do with money flow, and if they're going to be buying again on the supply and demand situation that we see now around the world. So we do get a major crop report from USDA on May the 12th. We've got another week or 2 weeks ahead for that. Next week we'll be looking for crop progress, export loadings, ethanol, as well as export sales, and just watching the weather and trying to make good decisions on marketing. This is Robert. If we can help you, give us a call.